Okay, worksheet 11. Now, I know on the page it says something about lesson 26. That's because I was like stealing it from an old thing I did. But anyway, it's worksheet 11. Okay, so it's all about geometry. Basically, since in stats we're talking about the area under the curve. This is just some old geometry that we actually, remember from somewhere. Okay, so the area of a square is side times side. So that would be 3 times 3, that's 9. And you're supposed to write the units meters squared. Then the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. But I never want to use 1/2. It's too hard to put in my calculator. So I would go with 0.5 times 10 times 12. So that's like 60. And then trapezoid, you've got 2 bases, those 2, and you've got a height. Okay, so you average the bases. The formula is you're averaging the bases. If you average the bases, 8 plus 3 is 11, divide by 2. So the average base is 5.5 times the height. The average base times the height. That's really what the formula tells you on that 1/2 B1 plus B2 divided times the 1/2. That's just averaging them. And then it says, and then multiply by the height. Which comes out to be 27.5. Feet squared. Okay, so those are just the basic shapes. And then all of a sudden, it starts into finding areas by adding a couple things together. All right. As you may have already looked at the area under the curve problems, there's a whole bunch of finagling going on. How am I going to get the area under a bell? And sooner or later, it comes down to calculus. But it kind of starts off really, if you want to find the area under something, you can estimate it with lots of little bits like this. Okay, so if I want to do this one, it's a square plus a triangle. So solve it by addition means I'm doing the square and I'm doing the triangle plus the 1/2. Base is the same. Height is the same. Okay, so that's 4 plus 2. So that's 6 inches squared. All right, and then this little house, a rectangle on top of another rectangle, is just add the 2 rectangles together. So I got a 3 by 2 and a 5 by 5. Okay, so 6 plus 25, 31 yards squared. And then I've got a trapezoid. And on top of the trapezoid is a triangle. Okay, so trapezoid, average the bases. I got my 10, I got my 11, average that, that's 10.5. Times my 5 for my height on my trapezoid. And then 1/2 base times height. So 0.5 times 3 for my triangle. So it doesn't even look like a 5. Okay, so 10.5 times 5. Okay, so 52.5, that's the trapezoid, and another 4.5 for the triangle is 57. So after you've done sum by addition, then there's sum by subtraction. And if we were doing the bell curve the old way where you had to read it off the chart and subtract some bits of the chart from other bits of the chart, this would have been what we were doing. All right, so basically this is a triangle donut. Okay, I got one triangle, I got a little bitty triangle in the middle, and I've chopped out the center triangle, so I want to know the area of the triangle donut. And it says do it by subtraction, so I'm going to do the big triangle, 0.5 times 8 times 10. Okay, the height is 8, there's 10. And then the little triangle is a 3 by 5, so 0.5 3, 5. And these are supposed to be subtracted. So that's 40 minus, let's see, 15 times 0.5, 7.5, 32.5 meters squared. Again, I'm trying to do stuff by subtraction. This is a rectangle with a little square chopped out of the corner. So I've got this giant rectangle. It's like a 5 by 2. And then someone's come along and just munched out this little corner down here. So I'm just going to subtract that off. So I've got my 5 by 2. I'm going to subtract off. It's just a little 1 by 1 square. So that's 10 minus 1. So that's 9 inches squared. And then the last one is a trapezoid with a triangle munched out. Okay, so my bases are 4 and 6. The average base is 5 times the height of 4. Okay, so I'm getting the big, I've just munched a triangle out of the end of that trapezoid. But before I did that, it was a trapezoid, and it had two bases, 6 and 4. Okay, and I averaged the bases. The average of 4 and 6 is 5. And then I did the height, which is 4. Okay, so 20. That would have been before I munched out that triangle out of the corner. Now, the triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 0.5 times 1 times 1, which is 0.5. So really, I've got 20 minus 0.5, 19.5 centimeters squared.